Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Charlotte to Go. I'm Ben, Sarah, Larry.
Yes, how's it going?
It's going. Thursday,
Eve.
Friday Eve,
yeah.
Final stretch. Today we're talking about what really the entire country is talking about, and that's the fact that the president has announced that they will be forgiving a certain amount of federal student loans for folks who've taken them out over the years, up to $20,000 if you qualify for Pell Grants. But it sounds like for most people, $10,000 or below. You have to meet a certain income threshold of, I think, $125,000 or something like that. So lots of different, sort of quirks and intricacies about who qualifies. But those are the basics. So let us know, do you think that this is a fair setup? You don't like it? This has been talked about for years. This was a campaign issue. So weigh in, let us know.
And our Richard Devane has a story, so let us know and we'll come back and chat about it after his story.
Finally think about buying a home or starting a family or starting a business.
President Biden announcing he's canceling up to $10,000 in federal student loan debt for borrowers who make less than $125,000 a year. Low-income Pell Grant recipients getting up to $20,000 in forgiveness. The student loan pause also extended one last time.
These targeted actions are for families who need it the most.
Biden making good on a campaign promise to address student loan debt, though falling short of the $50,000 cancellations advocates had pushed for. Some experts say paying for this will hurt the already strained economy.
It will, in fact, create additional inflation. It'll put inflationary pressures, which makes the Fed's job even harder if they're trying to slow the economy down without crashing.
The administration insisting that lowering monthly costs for millions will bolster the economy, bringing benefits to society as a whole.
The outrage over helping working people with student loans, I think, is just simply wrong, dead wrong.
Our Richard Devane reporting for us there.
Yeah, I was just
very expensive.
Yeah, I was just listening to Tom Costello's report from the Today Show this morning, and he was talking about, one side of it is people are excited about this. Another side of it, economists are very worried. This is a $300 billion debt on taxpayers. Yeah,
at a time when it seems like we're just making some headway when it comes to inflation, and a lot of folks worry.
$300 billion.
Yeah.
$300 billion, yep, that's what Tom Costello said this morning. So are people weighing in? I got to pull it up on my
people are weighing in.
computer.
Melissa saying, I never had student loans, but I love this for those who qualify. Barbara says, my son is a nurse, and so totally believe all nurses should have no school debt. Thank you, Mr. Biden. Pastor Carl says, is it canceling or is it wealth redistribution? Joy says, I love it. Faith says, got my attention. Pastor says, that's a lot of money. Yep, it is a lot of money. Buddy says, I paid mine off. Many responsible people didn't want to hand out. What BS. Lisa, what about all the parents and kids who paid their debt?
That's a lot. It's a lot of people.
Chrissy, $112,000 in loans with my master's. Hopefully I'll see it.
Yeah, I did see a lot of emails come in asking about your master's, if that qualifies for it. Can we pop those that we got in to the TV station? Yeah, here's some that people, I believe they text us. One person saying, I worked hard to ensure I wouldn't have student loans. I just stayed within my means and I still got the college experience as a commuter.
Well, if you think about it, there are a lot of people paid for their own education. I know the feeling. So a lot of people had to have
you have to work hard to pay that off.
Jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that people don't need help in this situation, but, the big question is, I think it's fantastic that these loans are paid off, but someone has to pay for it, and taxpayers will pay for it. Each of us will be paying for this.
Yeah, Isabella saying this will weigh on taxpayers, even those who never had children or those who never experienced college. Another person writing in, loan debt relief is a bad idea. Why are you loading taxpayers up with other people's debt? And we got another text saying, absolutely no. If President Biden forgives student debt, I expect a check for paying my children's. As a single mom, I sacrificed year after year to save for my children's college. My children's job was to obtain good grades and qualify for scholarships.
Melissa makes a good point. College doesn't need to be this expensive to start. Fix that
Yeah,
too.
and that's a whole other issue.
It's gotten ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about this morning on the Today Show, too, about how expensive it is. It continues to go up and making it harder and harder for some families to send their kids to college.
It's prohibitively expensive for so many.
But I mean, that's commensurate with the salaries, the professors, and the programs that colleges have. And and quite often athletics supports many institutions. But does that go for education, or is that just to make the athletic programs even larger, to build larger stadiums and that? I mean, it's a never-ending battle about financing college educations. We've been doing this for years and years and years. And I remember my father. He had 2 jobs to pay for his education.
Yeah.
I mean, he was literally working and going to school for years.
Yeah. I was just telling you yesterday, my mom's dad died when she was 6, and so my grandmother kept working and went back to school, to college. She didn't have a college degree, but she was the first one in our family to get a college degree. Yeah. And she paid for it herself because she wanted to provide for my mom. So, I mean, a lot of stories like that. A lot of stories.
A lot of stories. And
I would also say the other side of that should be, why should it be that hard? Like, why should people have to go through so much hardship? I mean, like, I think that's the other side.
Couple jobs.
Like, I think of all the inequities in our country today and in the world today, really the world, because I mean, we are the upper crust of everybody else in the world. America is. Of all the inequities, my student loans are all paid off. Luckily, I was privileged enough to come from parents who helped me out. But also realizing I am not the majority, and being humble enough about that. And so when I hear people say, "Oh, well, I worked hard and I had paid off and I did all," that's fantastic, and nobody begrudges you of that. But we've got to be honest about the inequities in our country and the people who don't have the same amount, don't come from the same amount, and all the people who are given extra boosts because the families they come from or the people they know. And I think that just because I had an easier time or somebody else had an easier time, doesn't mean that other people have that same opportunity.
But there are a lot of people who did not have an easy time, who had to work. I mean, I know the feeling. You had to work and have a job. It was not easy. Nobody helped you, or you did it on your own. And so it's a very difficult process. The question goes back: is our government, are they responsible for paying for our education? And then there's going to be that debate. Is this socialism? Is that what that is? I mean, there's some countries where the education is paid for by the government. But then who pays them? It all goes back, is it the taxpayer? Do we all pay for that? So it's a never-ending process. I don't think this fight will ever end.
No.
It'll be ongoing.
And just to let you know, 1 year of college at UNC, Charlotte, estimated $23,000 for in-state residents.
Bonkers.
That's $80,000.
And when you were talking about paying professors and stuff, I mean, I know when I was in college, not all of my professors had their PhD. And so I went back and got my master's during the pandemic. But what my committee chair basically told me, you can be an adjunct professor nowadays with a master's. But if you want to be a professor and teach later on in life or whatever, you almost... Everybody has their PhD now. Most colleges won't even hire you as the main professor if you don't have your PhD.
So tack on an additional expense to get that PhD.
Wow. Yeah. So it has a lot of you talking about this. Rarely have we had a topic that got this much reaction this quickly. So continue to weigh in. This is going to be something we talk about for the weeks and months to come. And let us know how you think. And then, hey, we'll see you back here tomorrow for probably a lighter topic.
Yes.
Because it's Friday. Maybe it's Weather Friday. How's your weekend shaping up?
Everybody always likes
Last
Weather
free
Friday.
weekend for a lot of students before school starts.
That's very true. All right, folks, have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
See you then.